Hi, it's Katherine Bird, and I wanted to have a quick talk here about integration of higher spiritual concepts, and especially information that we're receiving through channeled sources, connecting to higher guides, higher wisdom sources. And, a lot of people, maybe you included, are receiving a lot right now and connecting to higher information and guidance and wisdom. And getting in touch with beings or streams of information that could be called maybe angelic or primordial, galactic, dragons, ascended masters, different kinds of streams of information that are of a very high frequency and level of being. And especially when we're working with streams of information that are very, very ancient and that have a very large, full awareness and context of reality and dimensions and evolution of consciousness and these higher perspectives, larger perspectives, very much higher ways than we could ever imagine thinking. Well, so generally what you might notice is that you get a lot of everything is fine, really. In the larger perspective of things, you're going through a transformational process, and this is a normal, natural cycle of evolution of consciousness, and this is a part of the process of transmutation. This is a process of, releasing certain frequencies from your planet, from the densities that there are. This is a part of a vibrational shift of all of these things that are happening. So those sound familiar, right? And if you're receiving information, those might sound familiar. And then also if you're following spiritual guides and channels and so on, those might sound really familiar. And that at the core essence, everything is love, everything is light, everything is divine, everything is as it should be, right? And this is all true. It really is true. Everything is fine. You're okay. I'm okay. The world is okay, no matter what is happening. That destruction is part of the alchemical process. Fire is normal and natural. Suffering is a part of the process. Death is part of the process. All of these things, absolutely true, absolutely valid. But what I want to talk about is how are we actually using that to our best possible current lived experience outcome? Because it doesn't really matter what information you're getting or receiving or what the spiritual guidance is that you're connecting to if you're not integrating it in a way that makes you a better person and makes the world a better place. Because oftentimes what can happen is that having awareness of this sort of meta reality, right? The larger perspective where you might be tapping into a perspective that is looking at things in terms of eons, not just in terms of lifetimes. It's looking at things in such a large picture perspective and larger awareness that you can't actually have. As much as we want to and think that we do, we really can't unless we reach a very profound level of enlightenment. And most of us aren't really at that space yet, right? So what happens oftentimes is that then we get lost in that meta. We see that this truth is the truth. And so we kind of put that on top of everything. We put it on top of the interactions we're having, on the crisis of the world, our environmental destruction, on to extinction of species, onto harm of people, minorities, children, poor people, disabled people, elderly people, all of these things, we sort of put that shield on top of all of that. And what we're often trying to do subconsciously is we're trying to protect ourselves from feeling the feelings around those things. By having this higher level of awareness, we can use that as a way to dissociate from the reality that's right in front of us, from the suffering of others. And taking ourselves away from feeling and experiencing and being present to and possibly doing something about the suffering of others in the world, we are we're not feeling fully, we're not living fully, we're not giving ourselves the opportunity to actually be a better person right here, right now. We stop looking at ourselves, honestly, when we do this. We put this very shiny veneer on top of a shit sandwich and go, no, everything's fine, because we're really uncomfortable with the fact that right here, right now, like, things could be better. We could be doing more. We could be being more compassionate. We could be being more kind. We could be advocating for change that's positive. We could be putting our resources, our time, our attention, our money towards things that will have a positive impact on the planet or to individuals that we come in contact with. We take our personal responsibility off the table. And is that really what you want to do? It's so easy to fall into this path. And in so, then also make other people wrong for bringing up things that are triggering or painful or gross and disgusting and hurtful, things that are really dysfunctional in our societies and in our environments. We can get really upset with those people and see them as being locked in fear or controlled by the media or falling victim to a collective illusion. Because technically, right, yeah, this probably all is an illusion. It is in some ways, yes, this is all an illusion, right? So we can technically, truthfully say that's true. And yet, how are we want to look deeper. How are we using that as a way to dissociate so that we don't take personal responsibility and do things that we could be doing? And in this, we're not using it as in an integrated, embodied way. So what I see is that if we can take the meta, if we can take the everything's okay, you're fine, I'm fine, it's all fine, part of the process, alchemical, yes, 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 and we can allow that to energetically come into our bodies, into our fields, into our awareness, so that we can calm our nervous systems, so that we can reach a state where our system is open. Then we can start to do deeper work, deeper inquiry, deeper awareness, using tools to work with our consciousness, to look at what it is that's we're seeing as outside of us, and to use that as a mirror to reflect to ourselves. Now, when we use this truth that there is no duality, we are all one, right? That truth, then it very much is true, right? We are all one. We are coming to a place over time in evolution when we will come to realize that we are all one. We are, there is no duality, right? In the essence of being. But here, now, there's some duality. There is duality. And when we reject it completely, we're actually losing the potential that duality has to work in us and to be used as a tool for our own transformation and growth. So, for example, if I see that this, and this are wrong, bad, I have judgment about it, right? And judgment is supposed to be bad and wrong. But if I have judgment about these things and I see these people as these other people, I'm creating duality, right? I am seeing them as others. I'm seeing these things as bad. I'm seeing this. And in a lot of our spiritual teachers, we're told, no, don't do that. We don't want to have duality. We don't want to have judgment. We don't want to other people, right? And we're shamed for having that experience because there isn't the awareness that that as an experience can be used as a transformational tool. That when we separate outside of us and we go, this, I have a problem with these things. And we can really look at it and we can be angry with it and we can judge it and we can be sad about it and get fired up about it. And then if we are willing, we can then look at all of those things and go, okay, deeper integration, deeper spiritual work. What's my relationship to that? How am I that? How am I expressing that? How am I contributing to that? How am I supporting that in my actions, my words, my deeds, my financial things, my vote, everything? How am I being a part of this that I am struggling with? Or how am I rejecting that in myself? How am I rejecting those parts of myself that I'm seeing expressed in this person, this people, these actions? How am I not taking responsibility in some way? How am I not showing up in some way? And how am I using this tool of duality? It's like, well, why are we here? Why do we have duality if it's not a tool to be worked with? So how am I using this tool of duality in order to place things outside of myself in order to have an interaction with them that could be an interaction of self-inquiry and transformation? So if we never go through that process, we can have a tendency to sort of be in this kind of sparkly love and light thing where we're never really doing the deeper work and we're never allowing ourselves the permission to see things that are not okay and do something about them externally and internally, and to hold ourselves accountable, to be better people, and to take action. And so this is something that is really rampant in our spiritual communities, that we take these spiritual truths of oneness, non-duality, everything's okay, it's all part of the process, don't worry, focus on what brings you gratitude and open your heart. We take it all these things, which are very important tools of important awareness, things that we need, and we stop there instead of using those things as a way to help us to calm our nervous system, to put us in an open space, an open-hearted frame of mind, and an open field of potential possibility, and then look deeper and do deeper work. Because actually, when we do that deeper work, we look deeper, we have judgments, we have anger, we have fear, we have all the things that we do have, like we have them. We don't repress them, we don't deny them, we don't shame them away, we don't light wash them away. When we're actually able to be present with all of those parts of ourselves, then we get to do the deeper work, the transmutation work, the work of being able to work with the energy in a really strong way through our system, to work with movement, breath, and sound, to move energy through us. Then we become proficient in alchemical work and transmutation in our bodies and our systems, which then allows us even to pull in from the collective that which is of these lower vibrational fields, to pull into us and actually transmute through ourselves to help support the evolution of consciousness, not just be a smiling bystander in the back of the room, but actually get in and do the heavy lifting. Now, most people don't want to do that because it takes time, it takes energy, it takes attention. It can be ugly, it can feel gross, it can be exhausting, it can alienate you from other people because you're going through a big process and they're not. It can create feelings that you don't want to feel, things that you don't want to be present to, energy you don't want to feel because it's uncomfortable. And we're trying really hard to be comfortable. So you have an opportunity to do things in a different way. And in this, we get to be more active participants in our own transmutation and transformation of our own consciousness so that we can evolve more quickly. And we can also do the same for the collective and for others, for the entirety of the planet. So I think that that's a win-win. And it keeps us from being in this very upper level spiritual bypassing thing where if anything isn't good feeling, then we create some weird story around it, or we run away from it, or we shame it, or we, put it off to the side and just do things that make us feel good and never actually do anything in the world. So this is, in this way, it's a call out. It's a call out for spiritual practitioners and people, channels. It's a call out for me, because I'm always calling myself out. It's a call out for people who are following people who are disengaged from the world. If your spiritual practitioners are completely disengaged from the world and it's all about like how we're going to get to 5D, like, honestly, stop it. Just stop it. Be here, be where you chose to be in this 3D world where there's pain and suffering and struggle. And we're here to help this process. And we're not going to help that process actually by just saying that, well, I'm just going to raise my vibration. And then anybody who's not in tune with my higher vibration of the 5D, we're going to leave them behind. It's all part of the process. Like, let's work a little harder than that. Let's do a little bit more than that. Let's actually be here. Let's do the harder thing, actually. Let's show up fully, big time, right here, right now, as it is. And yeah, so if this speaks to you, I'd love to hear what you think about this. If you had any like, or put in the comments, let's chat. And let's keep on this path, because we have to hold ourselves accountable. And I see a lot of our spiritual people, leaders, teachers out there who are really being avoidant and using spiritual concepts as ways to be avoidant and then shame in other people into being avoidant and dissociated and bypass what's really going on inside of them and what's really going on outside in the world. So I am wishing you all the blessings, and hang in there. We're all doing the best we can, and much love.